You're scared, you say. Well, you better be scared. I've got a 40 ounce and I pack of cigarettes and I'm ready to stay up for like the next several days, just hitting the machine, tapping the screen. Welcome everyone to today's stream. Um, did you know that there's a term that I learned recently for the type of person that my wife and I am? So there's dinks, which is dual income, no kids. There's also technically this other term, which is even funnier because whoever made this up, right, is they're so into the idea of being a dual income, sort of no kids person, but they didn't want to seem like they were behind the times. Like all their friends are getting married and having kids, like they're slowly growing up. And at first, it's like when you're 24, it's like having no kids. It's like a badge of honor. You sort of go, yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah, like I'm so responsible and stuff. But when you're 30 with no kids, it sort of starts to become like a what are you doing with your life type of deal. So it's like, oh yeah, 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 the kids, they're at the daycare. They went to get some milk. So there's a new term if you don't want a kid but you still want to seem like a responsible person, you get a dog. And apparently the meme is that everybody who doesn't have kids, they get a small dog, like a small little feral little dog, like a chihuahua, or maybe even like a poodle. And do you know what they call them? The acronym DINKS is dual income, no kids. If you have a little dog, the acronym becomes dildo, dual income little dog owner. Now you understand what the title of today's stream is. But yeah, welcome to today's stream. We're going to be gambling basically the entire day. Clover Pit released yesterday. I really wanted to play it, but I had to hold off because Guns the Duel, the beta test was going on. I actually didn't play again afterwards. One, I was too busy, but then two, also like when I was thinking more about the cash shop, I was just sort of thinking to myself like, it's not really worth spending the time to regain the skills if it's just going to end up being a pay-to-win mess that's going to die in like 5 months. So I was like, I'll probably just hold off on it. It's one of those things where it's like, I think from a gamer, from a user perspective, anything that you take part in, anything that you use, anything that you want to sort of spend your time with, you have to be careful because, you know, the user has limited time and they're trying to make the best of their limited time. And so you have to somehow give them a reason to want to be invested in something. And that means at least holding to some level of quality that you would hope stay stable the entire way through. The problem is that something like Guns the Duel, it's not really, with the hint of the cash shop, it's not really possible for me to feel like this is a safe bet to spend my time on. Yeah, you're trying to make the best of your limited time copium. Yeah, says the self-admitted deadlock player from the one VR chat segment. But even that is, I think, a good use of your time, because it might not be the best use of your time for like the long-term prospect. But we live in 80 years, 90 years, sometimes 100 if you're really unlucky. Like I'm aiming for like a good 50. Yeah. So even spending those moments for yourself, even spending those moments to ingratiate yourself, is just as important as the moments where you build on yourself, right? Obviously, you need a solid foundation for things to be stable for you to be able to work up from. But once you have a solid foundation, there's nothing really wrong with you ingratiating yourself. Like if you have a job, and if it's a career path that you enjoy, and it's sort of like the top of your career path that you can get to insofar as what you want to do, then there's no need to further push yourself, and you can just start to enjoy life. I think especially it's important to get to a point where you can enjoy life sooner rather than later. My biggest fear was hitting 60, going to enjoy life, and then all of my health issues would start to compound, and I'd be dead before I could even spend like a single day of my early retirement of 5 years, right? Let's say. And that's a genuinely real risk. Like I see it now within the people around me, where it's like they're at that point where they had this whole life ahead of them, and they made a bunch of really interesting decisions. Let's say I'll call it interesting, but in truth it's probably bad decisions. And now they're paying the cost because they have to wait till they're 60. Sorry, I'm going to crush a bottle. And in doing so, what's happening is that they get there, all their bad decisions catch up with them, all their health goes down, they have all these kinds of issues, they start to feel bad, and then it's just over. You lost. I'm hoping you meant less in your deadlock game, and not you're not and not like not the thing that you were talking about on VR chat. So IMO, if you can get to a point where you can spend your time doing whatever you want earlier rather than later, so you get to play games or do whatever you want, watch movies. And or if you can do it in a drip feed manner, such that you like intersperse moments of self gratification as well as moments of like responsibility, then I think you're honestly in a good spot. You meant you lost to the bottle. Sorry, I'll never do that ever again. Then, but yeah, it's important. I think it's important to do that. So never feel like you're wasting time playing Deadlock unless you really are wasting time. But I think a lot of us have this mindset of like, oh, we feel like we're wasting time because we've just been told that doing this thing isn't very good for us, even though there's no real understanding of whether or not it's good. Like it's like we just judge it based on a societal standard, but we're not judging it for ourselves based on like circumstances. Like if somebody saw what I was doing, they would go, "What are you doing, wasting your life?" But it's like I used to make six figures for like years, so it's like I have a bit of a leeway doing what I'm doing now as like a for fun thing, right? And that's you know, knowing that I still probably wanted to reach a little like a lot higher within my career within my career path. So just take your time, enjoy your life, right? Be a dildo. It's okay. It's whatever. Be a dink. Be a dildo. You can even be a sink. What? So wait, single income. I guess when you're single, then it's like single income, no kids. But then dildo doesn't. It doesn't work anymore. Like sildo doesn't really make sense. And so it's like, what do you say? Like what do you call yourself now? We have to go back and figure this out. Dildo. Oh, right. Because your dog is earning an income for your household. Yeah. Because your little dog is earning an income for your household, and they're gonna help take care of it. Yeah. Sure. Yeah. I really enjoy when my dog wakes up and she goes, "I gotta go to my 9 to 5." Row. That is funny to think about. Like, what was Scooby doing when he had nothing else to do, right? Because it's like, imagine Scooby. Because like the mystery van is not going to go out and find mysteries all the time. What are they going to do when there's nothing to do, when there's no mysteries to solve? When you have it's a bit like a wartime president when there's no war. It's like, what do? Keep making rockets? No, man, that money has to go towards like housing and like the TTC and stuff, right? So you have to switch over, and now it's like, okay, well, what do you do as like a mystery solving dog? I guess you just go around, you eat like your own shit because dogs eat their own shit. Anyways, again, today is a pure gambling day. The intro is going to be very, very short. As a reminder, again, I'm not here tomorrow all the way until Tuesday. I'll be back Tuesday, I think. And then Tuesday, we have like 1 day of September before Spooktober. So we're mostly going to take it chill. But Spooktober is going to be all horror games all the time. I have a long list of horror games as a continuation from last time, as well as additions from this time. And I've tweak the list to avoid any of the major long games as best as we can. Because the problem is that doing the longer games, I think it takes way too long for us to get to anything. And because it just forces you to be stuck on that game forever, right? Voices of the Void is coming back because I'm excited to play that again. I really should not have made it like a Halloween only segment. Like I really should have made Voices of the Void like a all the time segment. But it is the one game that I like to fall back on when I have nothing else to do because it's probably the best game out there. But yeah. So sit back, relax. I hope that you all have a 40-ounce pack of cigarettes, right? Just get like a whole, remember buck of beer, just like grab that, sit in your chair and just enjoy the gambling. There's not much else to really talk about. Ooh, except I really like this category. So it's funny. So there was something funny that like happened, and I'm inviting danger. But I've noticed my YouTube commentaries have now evolved into two different So before, the commentaries were like, you know, it was pretty funny. Before, I had two different types of commentaries. One was the "I hate you, I want you to die" thing, and then it's like the meme of like, "I hate you, I want you to die" meme. I hate. This is it. Let me pull up. Okay, sorry, I have to pull up the Know Your Meme page first before I can show you this like one comment. Okay, so this is one of my chatters. Like now, the commentaries are like one half is this. One half is sorry. Before it was like one half was this person, and I don't know why. I was like, buddy, like, and some of the people who commented, right? It was crazy. Some of them were like 50, 60, and I like you could look into their profile picture and you could go to their channel and they have videos of them welcoming their grandchild, and I was like, you're gonna do this instead of spending your time any better with your life? You know what I mean? Like you're gonna do this, and instead of doing anything else with your life. Like, one, it's a VOD channel, right? So it's crazy. But this is the type of person that used to show up. Now it's changed. So now there's two different types of people. One, I made this video. Well, I mean, it was the guns VOD, right? So, and then I made the title "Teleports Behind You." At first, it was nothing personal, kid, like PERSONAL, and then this person says personnel, and I was like, perfect, because this is the type of person that is like genuinely funny. So it's like you have this type of person who is like looking for pure comedy, who's like trying to help you do comedy. I still get some of the knowledge checks where it's like they're trying to share something in which case it's like cool, but like scroll into the Pacific Ocean until you see some islands. Hawaii has a ton of big titty women, right? It's amazing. On W Plays Live. Silk for Silk Song, and I was like Silk Spider-Bell, and then personnel, and I put down my fedora. Like, this is great, right? But there's another type of person that I keep seeing pop up, which is I don't have the other ones because like well, I don't have the other ones because they're all flagged because they all swear. But it's similar to this where it's like VOD of a stream, pure opinion piece. None of this really matters, right? It's a pure opinion piece, and the opinion is that I think it's better than Risk of Rain 2. The opinion of somebody isn't necessarily right or wrong. It's just preferences, right? But then this person goes, yeah, that's a lie. And I was like, uh-oh, here comes the all-knowing gamer. So basically this person and this person are the same type of person, except one is way, way better at communicating and has a better intent than this person. But yeah, there's like now two types of different commenters. So the commenters on the YouTube channel have finally shifted in terms of demographic. I think I've like shit posted so much that YouTube has finally realized to like give me a certain type of person. So the type of person before who would come in and be like, I hope you fucking die. They don't show up anymore. Now it's just people who are like, sorry, your opinion is wrong. Put tips on my fedora, takes off my pants, starts joking off. You know what I mean? Good stuff. Good stuff. I really love the VOD channel because one, it's funny because it's like the VOD channel. The thing that I spend the most time on is editing the VODs for the Kino segments because those Kino segments are copyright landmines. Though I've changed my approach because when no one joins and I only talk to the chat, I can cut out the entire audio portion and I don't have to cut out like each and every piece like bit by bit. It's way easier. But those are the only times they edit very heavily. Everything else is like I go into Shutter Encoder, I click the merge button. 15 seconds later, I get something out, right? So it's very simple for me. It's why you see uploads so frequently now. It's like I have a very simple workflow ever since the beginning, and I've really honed it down to like knowing my hotkeys now. So it's good. But it's like I think when these people aren't live and when they aren't immersed into the stream, they don't recognize that like we're just here to have fun. Like I think what I'm noticing as a pain point is that, and this is something that I've been thinking about a lot, the live stream and that live interaction back and forth with chat. Going into a VOD setting, you lose that sense. And it's not even the fact that you don't have chat there. I think it's interesting the way that it happens. Because when I look at the channel like this channel that I linked recently, really amazing channel called Xbox Ahoy, but probably better to just call them Ahoy. I'm assuming they call themselves Xbox Ahoy because they used to be on Xbox, but now they're just called Ahoy. Fantastic channel, right? A beautiful, cohesive visual style across every single video, and yet every single video has its own unique style to fit the subject matter. A very cohesive style of narration and storytelling, and honestly, very interesting way of writing these videos too, because it's like it feels a bit like historical fiction where they take the facts and then they layer on a little bit of a sprinkle, but not to the point where it becomes full-on fiction, just enough to where it becomes entertaining as a story to listen to. So it's like a step below historical fiction where it's not so much fiction so much as it is almost like an enhanced storytelling version of a story. It's like the more fun version of a Wikipedia article, which is very fascinating. It's the style of technique that I don't think we see much anymore because people don't do oral storytelling anymore, right? I imagine in cultures where oral storytelling still happens, like mine, I remember, like even now, it's like the oral stories that we tell they're based on facts, but we try our best to make it palatable. We try our best to like draw you in, right? It's like the way you tell it is very important, but also the way that you can like slightly bend certain things without bending the truth. It's very fascinating how what you can do, right? But there's no need for you to know anything about this channel from the first video to the last video. There's no cohesive identity in the sense of like there's no history, there's no train of thought. It's just sort of like everything from here all the way to here is all separate from the last. So it doesn't matter what videos they made 12 years ago. It matters what video you see today. And what video you see today might be a video from 9 years ago or from 1 year ago, but in the end, you can take them both as like separate pieces, right? And usually, rarely these videos will make a callback, and they'll usually always talk about that callback, and they'll link to it. Whereas in live streaming, you can't really do that because in live streaming, there's a much more dynamic flow to things. It's very organic the way that you can refer back to things for the chat, and then the chat can refer back to things for you as well. It's like it's weird, but we're both forming our place within this community and like almost building a history with each other that you almost can't condense down without significant effort. Like it's almost like I feel like you need like a streamer primer refresh every single month in order to keep up with certain things, right? Certain topics, certain trains of thought, because there's no other way to organize it because it just happens so naturally. And it might even happen because of a viewer thing. Like it's like sometimes viewers come in, they say something, and then that becomes the train of thought for the next like 2 weeks. And that's why the VOD channel, I realized something, is that the VOD channel is so unsuccessful at communicating things, which makes sense. It's literally just like a raw upload of the VODs. It's not meant to communicate anything. It's meant to be like a video storage zone. So it's like, it's not really meant to be anything. But it's so bad at it, at like being a video channel, not just because it's like a raw dump, but because live streaming itself doesn't feel like you can structure it in such a way that you can include everybody without ending up on like a 5-hour recap session. Because it's like, we might refer to things and there's like a certain personality to the stream that is sort of slowly built up over time, which is, that is to say, it's a bit of my personality, but no personality is ever really the same from one day to the next, right? Like it's, you might change a little bit on this day, you might change, towards a more serious tone on one day versus the other. But at least in my case, it's sort of like, when I say things like it's the better Risk of Rain 2, it's hard to communicate to new people who are just stumbling on the VOD, who just look at at only the title, that this is sort of like it's like half shitpost, half my preference, and then a third half, and then a third half, just sort of like making fun of the idea that I guess games, when you simplify them down, are all sort of the same, which we've done before on this channel, but you'd have to watch like 27 VODs in to know that we've done that before. So it's like, it's a fascinating problem to have. And in general, I've been thinking a lot about the art of live streaming. So I'm actually excited for October because I think for the entire past year, I haven't done anything very fun or interesting with the medium. So the month of October is the opportunity to do something fun and interesting with the medium. Because horror games are so, as a genre, are so well defined and also so specific that you have all this other room to work with. And I really want to see how we can sort of like play with the medium of live streaming in such a way that it feels reminiscent to the way that people play with the idea of videos. Like when people make videos like this, their latest video, fantastic. But even all of their videos, the 4-Bite Burger, are really good, right? When they make these types of videos and they sort of like design an idea around it and they design like something around it, it's very fascinating how much you can do within the space that I don't really see within live streaming, that I haven't really been able to do for this past whole year, right? The first year it was like learning ropes. The second year I tried a little bit of it and it was a little successful. Like I think the slap game segment was pretty fun. But after that it was like stale. So I'm hoping that this Halloween we get some time to play around with the idea of like what is live streaming, what is the unique sauce behind being able to be here in the moment with you and you being able to be here in the moment with me, and having a window to communicate with each other. What's the secret sauce behind that, and how do you best utilize it in new, interesting ways that don't just end up being like shitty video games? Because it's like sure you can do a thing where chat types in which number of thing that they want me to do, and like that's cool for like the first time, but then it's like now you just made a shittier game. It's like there has to be something more to it, and I realized at this point, and sort of in thinking about it now, but also like even before, um, the words have finally come to me to explain why I find it so interesting and why I think it's very unique. It's like stand-up comedy, or it's like improv. Actually, it's the most like improv, because you never know what the fuck a chat member is gonna say. They might say the darndest thing. They might come in and say, "My cat's dead." I remember there was like a long string for like a week where people kept coming in and then saying like, "My cat's died," and I was like, "Listen, I don't know what the fuck to say to this. My improv is not. It's not that good." But that's the thing, right? When somebody comes in and they say that their cat's died, how do you work with that? What does that turn into as like from a live stream perspective that isn't callous? Like the hard part is doing it in such a way that it's entertaining but not callous, right? Like that I think is the sweet spot, and it feels almost impossible if you're so used to sort of like crass comedy like I am. But that's sort of like the goal, is to try to hit some sweet spot where you can do something that feels genuinely heartfelt, genuinely sort of caring, loving, and sort of like warming, very, 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 very sort of like soft and very, very safe, without being boring, because a lot of it can be very boring. Like if you've ever read a pamphlet from, say, your local health clinic saying this is why you should live, it's very boring. It's like, think of all the things you can do. Like you could go outside for a walk with your family. It's like, well, really, maybe the reason to live is to do drugs. Anyways, we're gonna gamble now. Give me a moment to set things up.